Welcome back. We are joined now with Lynn Schenk, who is the Director of Business and Environmental Initiatives at Harvard Business School. Lynn, thanks for joining us at Sidebar.
Thank you so much for having me.
So as we just heard, it is imperative for so many sectors to be working together in order to really address the climate crisis. So what do you think is needed to unlock more capital in order to really be catalyzing this?
I think, as you just said, it's all about collaboration. It's all about thinking, when you're looking at a project, looking at a company, who are all of the stakeholders that are involved in getting something done? I mean, it is never just a one-off finance story where you look at it and you just assume that the revenues happen or whatever it may be. There are so many parties that need to be involved and that need to really understand who each other are in order to, unlock scaled capital. I mean, I think about one example, if you don't mind. I think about one of the Harvard Business School cases written by Deborah Spar on Northvolt, and a large battery manufacturer looking to build a $4 billion facility in northern Sweden. And, that was a massive investment, and, people kind of coming out of nowhere, having not built that type of facility before, getting the car companies to pay for the offtake, to actually pay for what they would produce in advance in order to give that money in advance to get that facility built. And they wound up getting close to, $50 billion in financing offers. So it was a way of looking down the chain of who was going to want that to happen, who was going to want the product, and coming in and helping facilitate something that actually unlocked an enormous amount of capital to get it done. So the ways that different parties that have an interest in things getting done can actually get involved at earlier stages than expected, super important.
It's a fascinating example. I'm curious. Over the past year, we've seen the IRA start to be deployed, and we've heard about new options for non-dilutive funding for climate-related solution providers, startups, et cetera. Can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing in this space around capital and getting it? What are the keys that you're seeing to this kingdom?
Yeah, I mean, there are several, but a lot of it is, again, if you can demonstrate as a project developer, as a company early on, that you understand how stakeholder groups all the way down the value chain, down the line, several years down the road, are going to have use for what you are trying to create, and show how you've engaged them in the process. I think that's super important. That's really critical. I mean, you talk about the IRA, something that's really fascinating to me that was in the news just a couple of days ago is the expanded loan authority that the DOE, the Department of Energy, actually has through their loan program office, and that they have $40 billion of new loan authority, and they've just granted, and I don't know all of the details, but a $9 billion loan to Ford Motor Company to build multiple battery manufacturing facilities throughout the U.S. So compared to the Northvolt example I just gave, where they were looking at the car companies to actually, come in early and actually provide some of the financing, here we have a car company like Ford who's able to vertically integrate this financing process because of this massive new loan authority that was given to the DOE through their loan programs office to be able to grant its largest loan ever to these car companies to create these facilities, and to create them in areas that are really being impacted by the energy transition. So in places in the South, and not the usual suspect type places, but actually building out the workforce and the manufacturing capacity in places that really need it in the US. So I think it's about really thinking about all these pieces of the thread, the workforce, the location, and the way that these government programs are unlocking that capacity to really access decently priced, scaled financing, to be able to just do something big now and far faster than it's been done in the past.
I love that example too. The Loan Program Office is doing such innovative stuff right now, and we only have about 30 seconds left. But is there another example that you can give us of a success story about how finance has been deployed for these big green infrastructure projects?
Honestly, one of the success stories that I see is a company like Generate Capital. I was just speaking to their CEO, Scott Jacobs, a few seconds ago, And the success isn't always in the billion-dollar deal all at once. It's also people and companies that have figured out how to look at a series of small projects that are scalable, that are proven technology that you can do in $10, $20 million increments, but that actually can have this ripple effect and get done the same way over and over and over across the country, across the globe, and be deployable in multiple scenarios. And so I think the success is not just seen through scale, but it's seen through replicability and scalability. So it's not just that one whiz-bang $5 billion deal, but you can really see success in things that can be replicated that are very small scale to start. Actually, the first panel that I attended today on the green banks had a lot of those really good examples as well.
Great thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Lynn Schenk, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you both.
Today on Sidebar.
So fun, and thanks for having me.